Since the last episode, I have asked on Twitter a real-life French person how to say Guillemette. Apparently it's Guillem. I appreciate everyone who took French classes at some point, but a French person on Twitter says it's Guillem. Or Guillem, as it's pronounced on the Translate program. So, it shall be pronounced like that from now on. Also, I resent anyone who says my hair looks too long. You're right, but I resent it. Papa's so busy and we always have enough food for the two of us. If Rosa stays, then I wouldn't be so lonely on my own. She'll wear sister's old clothes and we'll mind the house when both sister and father are away. Should we not mention the sister in on this plan? She can wash the dishes sometimes and I'll wash them sometimes. Guillaume and Francois shared a look. And, oh yeah, and all those other French words I pronounced wrong, unless we have to pronounce them again, we're not looking up pronunciation. And besides, if it were up to me, I'd have people take one girl home in their house and give her food. There is a slight problem in that. What do poor people do? Other than, starve. Girls don't even eat that much, not sure about boys. Not sure how true that is. She thought for a bit, but I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home too. One time I ate one whole plate of potatoes and my stomach hurt. If Rosa were there, I wouldn't have eaten so much, maybe. Guillaume couldn't help but laugh. Francois rubbed his neck in embarrassment. I'd be getting the guards to fucking pull her away at this point. I'm so sorry, sire. She's very headstrong. Stubborn. Father, I'm sure taking Rosa in wouldn't be much trouble for us financially, yes? My new work pays better. I'm sure we can adjust. Well, about that, perhaps if Rosa works in my household, it wouldn't be much of a burden to your family, Sir Parade. Look at us. We're shocked, but overwhelmed by his charm. Sir Gilly is great. God damn it, Gilly. You truly are a kind soul, sire. There's going to be something about him. Not at all. I'm sure I need her help more than she needs mine. Isn't that right, Rosa? No. In that case, I would love to offer my home to Rosa. Although I am still worried that this is supposed to be more complicated, sire. What about her family or her friends? Are we violating any laws, perhaps? I am not even sure. Not back when this was made, it'll be fine. As long as it's consensual, sire, the details can be smoothed out later. We haven't even said yes yet. The girl was quiet the whole time. She was looking at her toes or at Catherine. Rosa, do you have any family, relatives or friends you stay with? No, sire. My mother died a long time ago. We just took a step into crazy. Considering we're playing as the mother, but she guides me always, so please don't be compelled to mind me. No, don't get back to the streets, Rosa. It's September, it's going to be really cold soon. Sir Gilly will even give you work. Stay with us. Hang on, why is that a positive? You can even do work! Oh. But Catherine... Francois sighed in surrender. All right, she can stay for the night. Papa! Just for tonight, then we'll see if she wants to stay any for longer. Catherine, you cannot hold people in their place just because you want them there, do you understand? If Rosa wants to leave, she may leave. You cannot keep her like an object. Guillaume cleared his throat. God, I can't help saying Guillaume like a poncy twat. It's the problem that France has on me, damn it. I have to pronounce things like a twat. It's already bad enough from how I speak in English. That is sound advice, Sire Parade. Yes, Papa, I understand. Rosa, please make yourself comfortable in our home. Can I get naked on a bed and stop picking my toenails? That's the only way I get comfortable. It's not. Thank you. Papa is the best. Catherine turned to Guillaume again. Sir Gilly, don't you think if everyone with a house takes one person home, nobody would freeze in winter? Well, I mean, how many absurdly rich people are there and how many homeless people are there? Dare I suggest that there are more homeless people than there are rich people, especially in these times? You should make it into a law. Oh, the naivety of children is beautiful. They'll obey you because you're a marquise. And because you're tall. That's not how that works. Oh, so people obey my orders because I am tall. What a compliment. Well, you're taller than my papa at least. He'll never be a marquis. Francois pulled on his daughter's ear with embarrassment. Shut up! Catherine, mind your manners. I'm so sorry, sire. Guillaume shook his head, his eyes trailing over to the Paride family. Emily watched him curiously. That same sadness once again surfaced for the briefest moment. You have a lovely family, sire. I'm quite jealous. You make me want to settle down myself someday, he chuckled. Maybe. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Did he just look at her when he said that? She couldn't be sure. Catherine is perfect the way she is. Hang on, we're not always mother at all. I've just realised this because we're playing as Emily half the time as well. This game's confusing. Catherine is perfect the way she is. It is one of the reasons why I'm very invested in her. Guillaume knelt down. Oh my god, she looks like so much more of a pretty girl there. It's the same artist, you can tell because of the way the lines are drawn. But she actually looks like a young girl. She doesn't look like a boy's been sort of put onto too much makeup. And he no longer looks like he has a mask on. Like, he actually looks like his face. It doesn't look like he's gone to a mud spa and gone... like... Guillaume knelt down so that he was eye to eye with Catherine. He patted her head. You are a very intelligent and kind-hearted girl, Catherine. You are a star. Mon étoile? Don't know how that's pronounced. Don't know what that word is. My something. Étoile. It has to be that. Remember? Last syllable. Not there. Someday I know you will change the world. At least I'd like to see you try. Mother? Oh God. What just happened? Help me. Are we having a heart attack? My chest. I can't breathe. No. Catherine! What the fuck? What the fuck just happened there? So, there's someone vaguely crying in my headphones? I have to remember to turn up the volume of these. It's funny, isn't it? They always leave you. Such is the way of the world. The more you love, the more you lose. Oh, it seems like they'll stay forever, but they never do. I'm the only one who stays, my lovely Rose. My love is the only love you need. You were always so weak. Always so loving to people who did not deserve it. I told you to get rid of her, didn't I? I told you to be wary. I knew it from the start, my Rose. She was nothing but selfish. She led you astray. You get to choose. I don't know what any of this means. That one. Catherine was a curse. She drove you to a love I warned you about. I knew she would just cause you pain. We'll just forget that one exists. Our little secret. I'm so worried about you, darling. She almost led you astray away from me. Trust in Mother, darling. I'm just glad to have you back to myself. Your silence bothers me, child. She was important to me, Mother. I loved her. Mother only laughed as Roma screamed out her pain. Rosa felt strong arms shake her awake. Rosa. She opened her eyes and was hit by a strange sadness that crushed her. She was dazed for a moment. Why was she so sad? And then she remembered her best friend was gone. She was gone. Rosa, how are you feeling? Guillaume sat by her bed, a hand in hers. Rosa didn't realise she had been holding on to it tightly in her fitful sleep. She broke from his grasp and clutched her knees. Rosa? She remained silent. I came to check on you. Fuck me, that's how you walk around at night? What do you do when you make love? That is a lot to take off. There is so much dry humping which must go on. You went into shock and lost consciousness. I can only imagine how hard it must have been for you to see her like that. His words echoed in her brain, yet she did not register much of their meaning. Rosa still refused to speak, and Guillaume fidgeted with his glove. The wake will take place as soon as possible, Rosa. I just want to let you know that she is being taken care of. So we didn't kill her. Right? Just fucking hope so. He's hiding something. I thought that was a choice. There was a slight triumph in Mother's voice. He wants to get rid of her body as soon as possible. Don't you see it, child? Tell me you're not falling for this. Rosa was tired. Mother, always the cynic, would say such things. She hated anyone who came close to Rosa's heart. Rosa didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with anything right now. All she wanted was to wallow. All she wanted to do was wallow in her loneliness. To curl up inside the hole Catherine had left behind and sleep. My child, tell me you see it. Remember the fear in Catherine's eyes in her last few days? Both of those are bad. One of those could be like her fear, though, meaning that she knew she was ill and was getting scared because of it. The other one is just, oh yeah, look how we don't give a shit. I like the first one. You have seen it, haven't you? She was mostly hostile. But sometimes, when her sanity returned, she was afraid. Afraid of this man. How well do you even know him, child? I've known him for as long as I've known Catherine, Mother. He was a close friend. I didn't ask how long you've known him, but how well. Beyond that mask he displays in public view, do you even know his past? Do you even know how many of his ambitions or secrets? He was always a private man, Mother. Think back, child. Isn't it curious how his past relationships have ended in disaster? Everything he touches crumbles. That is not enough to accuse him of anything. You idiot. He is different. He does not belong. You have felt it too, haven't you? I must have misread that. He is different. He is different? Whatever. You have felt it too, haven't you? Rosa looked at Guillaume with new eyes now. Hint of doubt slithered out from beneath her sadness. Rosa wanted something to blame, a cask for all her regrets. Guillaume seemed like the perfect candidate, didn't he? Yes, you're finally seeing it. Open your eyes, child. It made sense. Guillaume's and Catherine's relationship began to pewter off into coldness right before she died. Her mental instability only served to compound the fracture in the relationship. Perhaps Guillaume was tired of her and had her killed off for convenience? Or perhaps Catherine, in her psychotic state, killed herself to spite him. Rosa stared at the man beside her. He is not to be trusted, child. He is a demon. Guillaume's returned Rosa's angry state with a resolute look. I know you must hate me, Rosa. I am aware that I only aggravated Catherine's condition with my presence. I know the feeling when I am not wanted. He stood up, a hard yet kind look on his face. Just remember that I will always be here for you, as much as I was there for Catherine, even though she spat me out. Rosa bit her lip. When Catherine had refused to eat, it had been Guillaume who fed her and attended to her. Despite Catherine hurling abuse at him, he had tried to take care of the sick woman himself. Lies or lies, keeping up appearances. Then what is it he has done, Mother? Catherine committed suicide. It was not by his hand that she died. Are you just going to leave it at that? Look at his face and tell me you trust him wholeheartedly. I can't, but I feel like I should. But will the game just teach me that the world's cruel and shit happens? I wonder. Rosa tried to search for the answer in Guillaume's eyes. But, as always, his face betrayed only few emotions. I don't know. Mother was screaming now. He killed her, I'm sure he did, and you're letting him get away with it. Please, my head hurts. And you say you loved her. You never loved her, you selfish child. I've always known you were this selfish, just like your father. Stop. You throw people away. Didn't you throw me away when I convenienced you? Admit it. You secretly relieved. I died. No, stop it. She screamed back at that last voice. Her mouth quivered. Guillaume stared at Rosa in shock. The outburst had accidentally come out loud. It pulled a plug that kept the tears from pouring out. Now her vision clouded, she blinked them away again and again. She was not sobbing, she did not even realize her face was wet. Guillaume and Rosa stared at each other, both kindred in their sorrow. He knelt down by Rosa's bed and wiped her tears from his hand. He did not say anything while doing this, and Rosa stared blankly ahead. It almost stunned her how many tears a person's eyes could carry. I loved her too, Rosa. He said it after a while. I know what you're feeling. She didn't know if it was her own or her mother's anger was somehow influencing her, but her chest heaved. She balled up her fist so tightly that her fingernails hurt. Shut up. She spat, and the man recoiled at the uncharacteristic bitterness of her words. Catherine was afraid of you in her last days. You did something to her. I know it. She could feel Mother inside her head building her up with anger. He has to be punished. You are to blame. God, this is a terrible thing to be saying. He has to atone. I know you are guilty. He must be punished. Guillaume stared at her, dumbfounded for a few seconds, but the man didn't try to appease her. He only stepped closer to Rosa and wrapped his arms around the hysterical girl. Let go of me. I hate you, let me go. But Guillaume didn't. If you need something to hate, then I'll accept your hate, but you must accept my comfort too. I need you too, right now, Rosa. You are the only one who loved her as much as I did. Guillaume's words brought back Catherine in Rosa's mind. Almost at once the anger was replaced with a sadness so heavy she couldn't breathe. Why was she so angry again? She was focusing on anger instead of pain. It was easier. The real tears came, all for the loss of the girl they both loved. Tomorrow was not going to come. There was only right now the loss and two friends mourning a loved one. Rosa cried until she thought that she wouldn't be able to be stopped, and Guillaume quietly held her. Slowly her weeping began to subside into sobs, and only then did he speak again. Stay in the chateau, Rosa. I know you are thinking of leaving now that Catherine is gone, but I can't let you wander the streets again. I will take care of you. It's what Catherine would have wanted. Like a spell being broken, these words brought back her anger. How could you possibly know what Catherine wants? She pushed his arms away from her. She's dead. Guillaume's mouth pursed, and he stepped away. I want you to go. Please leave me. Guillaume sighed and closed his eyes. I understand. I don't. Those 5 fast minutes went by in a bit of a flash. There is something really weird with us. He turned on his heels and left without another word. Man's weird to put up with us, especially after we just shouted like that. Very fucking weird. Hours seemed like minutes to her. She would fall asleep and awaken in unfit intervals so often that she had lost the exact time. Awake, she would stare at a part of the wall with no coherent thoughts forming in her mind. One would think morning should be spent in a depressive frenzy. All the reasons to grieve are yours after all. She could wail now if she wanted. She could pull on her hair, curse the skies. She could reminisce the past, admire the frailty of human lives. Unfortunately, it was something less poetic. Pain was simple. It was clean. It was a well-sharpened knife that sliced through the heart in one stroke. No blood, no mess. Empty. When tears were spent, there was just a hole where your heart had been. The hurt called out to you. It lingered. But since there was nothing there anymore, you couldn't find where the pain ended and you began. Rosa slept all day. The sun had gone down twice before she shifted from her bed. She stood up slowly, deliberately, with a purpose. My child, you know I hurt when you're hurt. Already a surge of power flowed within her, fueled by her grief. The power filled her up, and there was so much emptiness inside that the energy seemed to saturate her whole body. Purpose was always a balm for grief. Mother, tell me what to do. Justice or retribution? I'm not saying I'm not taking this seriously, but, I mean, all I can do is look at that and go, justice demands retribution. I mean, there are like 20-odd million people who play that game. One of you needs to know what that means. Put it down to a vote. That's what we'll do. What do you guys think? All votes, you've got until, like, whenever I record this next. So, when this is uploaded, you have about 18 hours to vote. Okay? Justice or retribution. And try and tell me why... You can't just say justice or retribution, it doesn't matter. But try and tell me why you think justice and retribution is a good idea. Or retribution. One with the most vote wins. If you've already played this game... Just don't vote. Or vote, but don't give reasoning. Okay? God, I really like this game. I'm just sort of hoping that this isn't the end. Because I really wanted it to go on longer. It's a shame. See you next time.